Brothers and sisters, misses and misters, I'm balling up my fist. My name is Dobie Maxwell. This is Max Bumgardner. This is the Dented Cast, where we delve into topics that not a lot of people go into. And today's topic, the G word. Not greed, not grace, grudges. This is a hard thing with dented cans. You can't forget, you can't let it go. And I'll be the first one to say, I have a problem with this. Max, do you?
I did.
And what happened?
I forgave you.
Not just you went to the God that doesn't exist, and you said, I'm sorry you made this piece of trash. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now,
All right, that's it.
That's our episode. Thank you. Buy our merchandise and pay top dollar. You don't have any grudges toward anybody.
I really don't. When you sent me how we do this is we send emails back and forth. Mm-hmm. This is the last episode that we're recording in this studio, by the way. I'm making a life change, and we're heading south. And Dobie, you'll be seeing us in a new environment here really soon. But we're taping this in Illinois. Dobie and I exchange emails, and Dobie says, hey, here's a couple of my ideas. I give him a couple of mine. We arrive at a list of episodes that we want to tape. He put grudges on this. And he gave his, example of where he's coming from. And I think it's a great topic. And I think he's right. And then I'm going, I don't have any. I honestly don't for the first time in my life. I know you'd like to take this and beat me over the head with it right now.
No, I want you to suffer. I'd say that would just knock you out. I want you to feel the pain because that's the grudge kind
this
of person
big, ugly
is.
Basketball head, that wouldn't knock me out.
Beautiful face of yours.
I've been hit harder than that with something bigger than this.
I want to scratch like a feral cat until you bleed, until you're slow and painful death. Now, I joke about that, quote unquote, but I think that is the mindset that grudge people, myself being one of them, has. And we can cover it in humor and we can sugarcoat it, but it's still there. There's a kid in my third grade class that I can picture his face.
You still?
I am not kidding you.
I'm sorry to laugh.
I know, it's funny.
How old are you?
I am a lot older than third grade, but my brain is still back in third grade.
Oh, my God.
And this kid came over, and I was working on an art project. And at
Okay.
the time, I was into sports, and I was trying to draw. I forgot what it was. And I really worked hard at it. And he came over, and he ripped it up, and he thought he was being funny in front of the class. And I went over to ball up my fist and club him like a baby seal to his instant death. And my teacher separated us, sent me to the principal's office for being the one that retaliated, and he smirked and laughed about it. And I'm not going to say his name, but I am angry and embarrassed and ashamed at myself to still remember it all these years later. Just let it go. No, I can't let it go. I wouldn't do that to you, and you did that to me, and it's like Velcro, man. I'm sorry. I apologize. I still am angry about that.
Well,
maybe not angry is not the word, but it's like if I saw him.
resentful.
Resentful is good. I think semantics.
You hold a grudge against him.
I hold a grudge.
If you saw him and he said,
I wouldn't know what he looked like. Hopefully he's fat, bald, and or dead. All three would be nice.
What if he's holding both pieces of the art project in his casket right now?
Oh, man. I would urinate it so it would stick to those grubby spiders and worms that eat his flesh. Now, okay, we're saying this.
No, seriously. Do you really hold a grudge against that guy?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Do you think that's part of why you are so, bottled up inside?
I am a dented can. I'm the first one to admit it.
But
I'm not necessarily proud of it.
What if you just? I know that, and I'm not. I don't mean disrespect here, buddy. I love you like a brother. But do you think that's why you still go through this shit?
Yes, there's no doubt about it. I'm effed up.
You don't.
I'm not denying any of that. People say you're a piece of work. Yes, I am. Right. And in the comedy business, it can be very petty and very. I am an amputator. Maybe you are. Maybe you aren't.
I have been in my past.
I'm to the point where I used to give people a couple chances. Now I'm one strike. There are certain things, and I'm the judge, jury, and executioner, which is unfair. And I don't necessarily know where they're all coming from. But if I am done a perceived wrong by somebody, you're out of my life. I'm unfriending you on Facebook. I'm taking you out of my phone, my number. I'll never talk to you again. Don't wish you bad, but I wish you away from me. There are 8 billion people in the world. If somebody pisses me off, next, swipe left. I don't ever want to deal with you again. And that's not a healthy way to be, but that's the way I am. And I could sit there and go through all the books and charts and Hallmark cards and let's forgive and sing Kumbaya and all have it. No, I can't do that.
I think you can.
I don't want to.
I think, right. That's right. You don't want to.
I don't want to.
I think you can, though. I think anyone can. I really do.
Okay, how do we do that? Because I know I'm not the only one that feels this way.
Well, you know, I was thinking about, there's a couple, kid named Neil. We talked about in our Bullies episode.
Yeah.
But you also
I forgot about them. Yeah, I'm still mad at them, too. No.
You are holding on to that, and you're the only one. I can still remember when we talked about, like in our Bullies episode, when something like that happened to me. I had so much violence in my life as a kid. My dad would talk about it.
Talk about violence?
Yes, absolutely. So readily, like, this guy's a badass, and because he lived in bars. Mm-hmm. So he was around bar fights, and he got his clock cleaned a few times, like really bad. Some guy'd come to his house, and I don't know if he owed him money or what the deal was, but he'd beat the shit out of him. Like one time I remember my dad took a pool cue ball and threw it at a guy as hard as he could right in the guy's face and left.
You could kill somebody doing that.
That's what he wanted to do. Okay? So that element was around me.
What are you in for? I threw a pool ball at somebody's face.
Yeah. For me, it would be, I'm in because I forgot my insurance card. It's,
I put some
which
salad.
Which is what I said in jail in Atlanta, by the way, when I was in a holding cell. When I went to jail, we can talk about that some other time. Thank God I had Camel Lights that I could pass out. So
currency.
Yeah. So I don't, that's the part I don't understand. I think somebody watching this will identify more with you than me.
I know they will. And I'm not saying they won't identify with you, but kudos to you. Because I think you're sincere. I know you're sincere when you say you really don't.
I don't anymore. I don't. From my dad, who's dead. And I loved my dad. I told you that at his grave. You can go back and watch that episode.
Very moving and very real.
I did love my dad, but I was so angry with him, Mm-hmm. But he's dead. So
it doesn't mean that you can't still be angry.
I think it does. I think I'd rather walk up the steps and go, I forgive him. He wasn't aware.
Forgiveness is another story.
Okay, we have an episode on that too, and we'll probably do a few more as Dobie grows up.
As my emotional constipation clogs the toilet, and my head is a Vesuvius volcano of all the rotting shit that is in my soul that I am trying so hard to get out. And
you're going to get there.
Buddy, I'm starting at and there's some things that we talk about this a lot of times about being bulletproof. There are some days, and I think being a dented can, you hear so much abuse at home that your soul does get a callous sometimes.
I think you're right.
And then there are some things like, especially in my business of being a comedian, man, there's rejection and all that stuff. Well, I'm bulletproof. I'll go through that. People say, how did you go through that? Because my life, I had nowhere to go back to. Mm-hmm. Why did I stay in all the cheap hotels and go out there? Because I'm going to prove something to my old man who couldn't have cared less. So why did I go out there? And as an adult, I look back down there. It is all bullshit. The things you say are right, but it's easier said than done.
I don't know if it's right, and I'm not a mental health professional, but I do know that it's making a difference in my life.
Yeah, and I see it.
But not being by not holding grudges and by not holding people responsible who are dead, who can't do anything about it, and knowing that they were young, addicted, in a cycle, no new information was coming in, low information person, didn't read, didn't have access to Wayne Dyer, for instance, a podcast or whatever, just didn't put good things in their head.
Or this.
Which is most people.
Yeah.
That's most people.
Yeah. As we bring that up on a weekly basis, I hope listeners are getting some viewers because I am getting something out of this because I tend not to think that way. So thank you for helping me.
You're getting a free lunch is what you're getting.
I'm getting a free lunch, and I'm also getting revenge on every one of those low-life, two-bit, backstabbing sons of you-know-what that are still making me angry. And I can't. It's like gum. I'm trying to throw the gum. It's still on my finger.
Give me some more grudges that you have, because that was third grade.
Third grade.
Do you hold any grudges of how we were let go at the Loop in Chicago, and it had absolutely nothing to do with our ratings?
It had nothing to do with our ratings or us.
No,
And
it didn't.
The person that did it was a week before Christmas. We'll never forget it. The other person on our morning show, we used to call each other for years. Hey, happy anniversary,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And as we're walking down the hallway.
Hi, Spike. I know you're
Hi,
watching.
Spike. We love Spike. Yes, great. And Spike is how can I say, a deadpan, funny guy he's just you never know it. He's got a straight face and
He's brilliant. Good
He's
guy.
brilliant, and we loved working together. And as the three of us, it's hard enough, and when you work with somebody, to get along with one other person. We are three guys. I knew him. None of us knew you. And for three guys at 5 o'clock in the morning every day to get along and laugh, that was a real special time.
It was.
And we had each other's back, and it was really, really great on so many different levels. And to be in that kind of a situation where that was a battleground, that's a hard job.
Yes.
That we had to do. And to hold grudges and have each other's back, I forgot the point that I was going to make.
Well, do you hold grudges on how it ended?
Oh, that's the thing. So we're walking down to get the new company came with us, and you and Spike, as we walked down, said, I think they're going to keep us. No, I think we got, and you guys had wives and families, kids, and I just knew we were going to get let go because I had been let go other times before. And the smarmy, dimpled, fake corporate snake that let us go said, guys, sometimes change just for the sake of change is good, and I could keep you or I can let you go, and I've decided to let you go. But if
Right.
I can make a call for you, let me know.
Right.
And I said, Max and Spike have families, and Christmas is next week. I'd like you to call their families and their children and tell you why, even though Spike was Jewish. I mean, no disrespect, but I mean, the holidays are coming up. Tell them, their kids, why their dad doesn't have a job. Okay, I think we're done here. Yeah, I see you guys. And they walked us out, and security walked us out, and it was totally humiliating. And I didn't have a grudge for that. That's one thing I didn't have a grudge, because I knew that was not our fault. That was the situation that we were in. And how messed up was that? If anything, that's the perfect recipe for having a grudge, and I don't.
Yeah, but you have a grudge for a kid in third grade who ripped an art thing, and
Yeah.
that's what I would do. If I was you, that's where I'd go. Okay.
Well, if
why
I
is
was
that
you,
there?
I would shut your mouth. That's what I would do, but you don't seem to do that. So very good. See, now, okay, the part of this whole show.
So why? So why? I don't get it.
I don't get it either, Max. I don't know.
That's the
I know.
thing.
That is the anomaly of me.
Because I would rather pick up that guy, Beelzebub, who's still working up
Still
there,
working.
who left his own
Left
family,
his family.
married somebody else,
Some bimbo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You know who you are.
yeah. Well, who cares?
We're not
I would
saying
rather
anything.
tackle him as we're both flying out that window on the 37th floor of the Hancock than be mad at somebody in third grade.
Now that you bring that up, I'm glad you brought it up, because here's my viewpoint of that. I had a callus on my heart, which I still do. I'm a bad mofo in certain people that say, I don't want to mess with you, man. I got some loose wires in here, and I admit that, and a lot of people do. I was prepared for that in my head, and I knew it wasn't me. The bastard that ripped my art project at age 9, that was me. That was my soul in that art project. I put everything I had into that. And for him to rip that up without asking me or never saying he was sorry and meaning it. We have an episode on apologies. Go look at that too. That is what ripped into my soul. The first cut is the deepest, and that one really hurt. Still does.
Well, I'm wondering, as we've talked about before, if because what was going on in your life outside of that art room, in your life,
Yeah.
was so profound that you have never advanced past that emotionally because it was so profound.
Sure.
And that you were hurt so bad
I'm still
at that
age
point.
9.
That's what I'm wondering.
Is I'm a senior citizen, but I'm age 9 inside.
Well,
and I think a lot of people watching are exactly the same.
I think you're right. And it's because there's a lot of research that says if it's just bad enough, you don't go past it. I know you don't believe in God, and I know you don't like Joyce Myers, She's one that had sexually assaulted by her own father for a long time. Okay. Now she lives one of the most successful lives any woman could live on the planet. And she walked through the pain. I still listen to her sometimes in the morning when I'm making my lunch in the morning, 15-minute podcast. But she talks a lot about that too. She's very raw still to this day. Very in love with Jesus, very in love with God. And I know that's a separate topic for other episodes that we have. You can go back and watch those. Not a believer, more of a agnostic.
I don't know.
Right.
That's all I'll say.
I am very much a believer, and I believe in that. I believe in the healing that comes from that relationship. I really do. I'm not kidding.
I know you do. And I don't ever disrespect you for that.
It keeps leading me in the right direction.
If I change my mind, I'll be the first one to tell you.
I hope. Because living in pain. Now, one final thought on this grudge. Are there other grudges? Are we just scratching the surface on that?
Yes.
How many would you say you hold?
You're going to embarrass me. 25.
Okay.
And do I know it's a grudge? I don't want to deal with that person because they have hurt me, and I choose, if you're going to disrespect me, apparently I liked and respected you more than you liked and respected me.
That's it. Because at the core of it, you're a really loving human being, and you extended that to them, and they pissed on you like the people in your life when you were 9 and younger.
Yeah.
That's why for you right there, that's why it's you can't even envision walking around it or through it or over it. It's stopped you in your tracks.
I choose to just ignore it.
Right, but not deal with it.
No.
Interesting.
No, I can't.
I think there's a lot of people, like you said already, that are watching this right now that can feel this, that feel exactly the same way.
So to say I have a simple formula to fix it all, I don't. I wish I did. But at least opening up the can to think about it and talk about it and try to make it better, that's why we're here. But if you have an input on it, I'd sure like to hear it because I don't have a solution.
What do you think? Comments? Give it to us. What do you think?
If you're that kid and you're watching this, just say you're sorry. I feel a lot better with that. We talk about apologies, too. We're all complex. The dented cans, the wires are sometimes crossed, and there's a million of them in there. Does the red one go with the blue one? I don't have any idea. But we're bringing it up and talking about it, and we're trying to make it better, and there's no better positive than that.
Okay. So that's our positive on the end right there.
Mm-hmm. Don't hold grudges.
Oh, what? What'd you say? What?
Don't hold grudges.
This is the Dented Cast. It's a work in progress, and we're glad you're both here with us.
And we're pieces of work.